Hello everyone! Today we have r/relationships. My husband is in love with his student and I have no effing idea what to do. My husband and I, both 35 right now, met in college. We fell in love and got married 8 years back. I gave birth to our daughter in 2020. My husband is a professor at this med school, he's doctor himself. My friend Sarah also works in the same college and he's in the same department as my husband. A few months back, in December, Sarah took me out for lunch and told me that she suspected something going on between my husband and his med student, who is 25. She claimed she had seen both of them give yearning looks to each other. She said that she's known my husband for so long and she'd never seen him talk to any other woman like this. And he'd been so aloof around women all these years. But it's just different with this one girl. In that moment, I had laughed in her face. I remember telling her that she's jumping to conclusions based on these supported yearning looks. That's why I didn't tell you before, she said. I was confused too. It's not like he goes out of his way to talk to her, but whenever they do talk, it's like watching a slow burn romance movie. She looks at him like he's Brad Pitt, and he looks at her the way he used to look at you. I remember the exact words because they stung. Internally, I was breaking down. Externally, I just smiled and told her that she's probably overthinking. That night, I casually mentioned this to my husband. I was laughing at the absurdity and I expected him to join in and deny the wild possibility that he's in love with a student. But he didn't. Instead, he looked at me all teary-eyed and said, "I'm sorry. I can't get her out of my mind. I have tried, trust me. I should have told you sooner, but I thought I could save our relationship. I really wanted to." I asked him if he'd cheated on me. He said no. He said he didn't even talk to her, nor did they have any contact outside of college, and that he completely understood how morally depraved it is to try and pursue a relationship with a student. She wrote him a letter about a year back, confessing her love for him, and he had told her that, even though he was into her, nothing would come out of it. Apparently, that was when the yearning looks had started. I honestly don't remember how I reacted then. I think I just started packing and came to live with my parents along with my daughter. I've been living with my parents since then. Half of me wanted him to come and beg for forgiveness, but he never did. He comes by sometimes to spend time with our daughter, but that's it. He never talks about the elephant in the room, nor do I bring it up. I keep checking that girl's social media. She's insanely beautiful, almost doll-like, and intelligent. I can't help but think that someone like him should be with someone like her. He's always been very good-looking, and I'm more of a plain Jane. She's the Meredith to his Derek. I don't know what to do. What do I even tell people? I don't even know who I am without him. Some part of me still wants him to come back. And there is an update. I have decided to talk to him. I know I've been avoiding this since months, but after reading all the responses, I feel it's time I rip that band-aid out. I'm going over to his house. I'll update on what happens. And since then, there was no update, but if there is, I will update you immediately. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, because I really want to get to 100 subscribers as soon as possible. The next story is by Trikomiko. My girlfriend wants 5 kids. I don't. Is there a way to get past this? I've been seeing my girlfriend for the past 6 months, and we've gotten pretty serious pretty fast. When we first started dating, she asked if I wanted kids, and I told her that I do want kids, but I'm also okay if I never end up having them. She agreed with that, but we didn't get into specific numbers of children. Recently, the topic came up again, and she said that she wants to have 5 children. She was an only child and says she wants her children to be surrounded by other kids. This caught me by surprise, as I had kind of assumed, due to her age, she's 36, that 1 or 2 children would be pushing it. She told me that she wouldn't work, so she would have time for the kids, and I told her I just don't see being feasible to support 7 people on just my salary in a high cost of living area. She said people just make it work when they have kids, and I tried to explain to her that there is no magic button to make a single salary go further. It's also just not something I want, I can't see myself having enough time or energy for 5 children. On top of that, there is the health risks of multiple late pregnancies. She seemed to understand when I told her that this would be a deal breaker for me. She said she didn't want to get stuck on a hypothetical. But yesterday, she sent me a mom influencer video about how a 5-child household is supposedly easier than a 1-child household because the kids entertain themselves. What? I got upset at this because it seems like she can't see the obvious pressure that it would put on me to provide for that many children. It seems bizarre to me to fixate on having a large family at this stage of her life. After she sent the video, we had an argument in which I reiterated that it was a deal breaker. Other than this, I enjoy spending time with her and I feel a lot of love between us. I just can't seem to understand where she's coming from, and I don't know how to approach what I feel is an unrealistic daydream of a large family. It also seems like a waste to break up over what seems to me to be an impossible hypothetical. Is there a way to move past this? How do I approach this topic when we discuss it? Yes, just say, hey, I really don't want to have 5 kids. Is it a deal breaker for you? Because it is for me. My boyfriend filmed us without my consent. So, I've been dating my boyfriend for 8 months. I am 22. He is 29. Around 2 months into our relationship, he brought up filming us during adult time. I immediately shut it down and said that it wasn't my type of thing. He joked and said, well, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. And I told him if he did that, he'd be single. Fast forward to this past weekend, it was my birthday. I have endometriosis and was having a 2-week-long flare-up, and due to that wasn't having much adult time. But I started feeling better this past weekend. He took me out of town to the mountains and we had a beautiful time. While we were there, he brought up how he wanted to film us again and it would be so hot. I told him that I wasn't too sure about that. Later that night, he brought it back up and I told him again that I really don't know about that. But I ended up telling him I was comfortable with him filming me, giving him mouth adult time. The next time we have adult time. We had adult time the next day and I made a joke after we finished. I said, you didn't get your video. And we both laughed it off. Yesterday night, we had adult time again, but afterwards, he was looking at his phone grinning. I questioned him on it, and he finally tossed me his phone to reveal a video of us during adult time that he had just recorded. I immediately got upset and said that he never asked my permission. He deleted it and cleared his recently deleted. He profusely apologized and said he misunderstood me when I joked about how he never got a video this past time. I told him he knew better, and we had discussed this already. He apologized again and promised to never take another. I don't know how to feel. He asked me if this was a relationship ender, and while I don't want it to be, I feel like I cannot trust him. Am I overreacting? He's been such a great boyfriend besides this. Yeah, great guy. Well, you said that if he would do that, it would be a relationship ender for you, so dump his butt. Am I dating an incompetent man? My boyfriend argues that he does house chores the same amount as me, if not more. I've been with my boyfriend for over 3 years and we've owned a house and lived together for just over 1 year. It first came around about the start of us living together when I became unemployed that I feel like I was doing everything. Not just the house chores, but cleaning after him as well. We have had an argument that I should do more cleaning as I'm unemployed. I thought maybe he'd step it up once I had a job. Fast forward nearly a year later and we're still having that argument. I work half an hour longer than him every day, plus I have an hour and a half commute and wake up an hour earlier than him. He never touches the washing. His mom also comes in and does chores for us without asking, which include pots, laundry, and tidying up. And his mom washes his work clothes and takes that upon herself, probably because she knows he wouldn't be as good at doing it. He agrees he doesn't do it either. I cook more and oftentimes I try to make it healthy as possible. Recently, I've been too tired or busy to cook, so it's been a frozen food kind of meal. and also not being hungry, so I let him help himself. He occasionally cooks us burgers or taco boats, but that's about it. His idea of dinner is something quick like oven food, and he said to me in the past that there is nothing wrong with it and he'd have that every day because he hates cooking. He leaves a mess and often doesn't put things away, so mess piles up. Sometimes I have done the same just to show him how it is, but then I end up cleaning it, or his mom does because she's here every morning and takes him to and from work. He only has the imperative to clean the house when things get really bad and messy and dirty. I clean the cat's litter tray all the time and he does it rarely. Same with the dog's poop outside. Again, his mom does it more than he does with this, even though they're not her pets. I know he doesn't do his litter tray because he usually leaves it a mess afterwards, and also the cat's poo builds up. I also have the mental load for responsibilities we need to do for the house or other things. He's okay with this sometimes, especially with finance stuff and bills, but sometimes I think I'm stuck to worry about it. But this one is not as bad, I just think I'm a stress head. Pet care is also my responsibility. I'm always thinking I need to wash the dog, moisturize her paws, give her medication, clean the cat's clothes, etc. And he wonders why when he begs and nags me for adult time, I don't want it. I'm tired and I have my own things I want to do too, but I feel like I'm constantly tidying up after him and still doing the chores. He says he tidies up and does stuff the same, if not more than me. He thinks cleaning the kitchen countertops and moving stuff he left out is good enough. And what's worse is I dated an immature man before for 2 years when I was 17, and I didn't even live with him. I told myself I wouldn't date an immature man again, and at first he seemed mature, energetic about life. He worked out. Before he met me, he lost like 7 stone after he had a depression episode, and was passionate about things that inspired me. Now I wonder where that guy's gone, or if it was just a facade. The thought of having a baby with him and him being like this makes me sick. We have a mortgage together, so it's not as easy to get out before you all shout, "Break up with him!" What do I do? And how do I prove to him I do it more than him so he will finally realize? I want to show him the consequences in a harsh way. Well, you can literally write down what you have done and compare it to what he has done. Maybe that will work. Also, you can ask his mom not to come and do his chores so he wouldn't have this magic cleaning fairy. My girlfriend lied to me and I cannot trust her anymore. My girlfriend and I have been dating for a year. However, when we were in the talking stage, she said she's going on a last-minute trip to Mexico with her mother, who is dealing with cancer. I thought it was wholesome and wish her well on their trip. After some time, I was hanging with friends who were curious to see what my girlfriend looked like. So I looked at her Instagram profile and noticed she was tagged in a photo of some guy in Mexico, uploaded around the same time my girlfriend was there. I want to make it clear she was not my girlfriend during this time, but she was someone I was close to becoming official with, so much so she said she wouldn't want me sleeping with other women. But at the time, she was not ready yet. She wanted to become official, but school, work, and family drama made it difficult for her. So the photo is just of that guy posing with a monument in the background, but my girlfriend was tagged on it, clearly indicating she was the one who took the photo. I called her and asked what's the story with this post. She said he's an old college friend and she's bumped into him while she was with her mom. I wanted to believe her, but something was telling me she's lying. I mean, I thought who would use their mother's cancer as a lie, right? Months later, I ignored this weird thought and we became official. I finally met her mother, we had a nice dinner at my girlfriend's house, talked about life and traveling, and I brought up Mexico. I asked the mother if she enjoyed their time over there, and the mother was confused and said my girlfriend actually went alone. I promise you guys, I tried everything in my power to not blow up in front of this kind of woman, so I just looked at my girlfriend and said, "Oh really?" sarcastically. The vibe clearly became quiet and awkward. The mother thanked me for a great time and went to bed. I just wanted to leave and go home without saying anything. I was beyond pissed. My girlfriend followed me. She was shaking, clearly embarrassed of the situation, and asked if I'm okay, and it led to an argument outside her building. She argues that it was the past and she and I weren't officially together, but my point was simply, why lie about it then? Why become a hypocrite and tell me you wouldn't want me to sleep with other people while you were doing just that? She later admitted she messed up and she would never lie to me again. I gave her another shot. It's a year later, everything is going well, but I cannot help but feel I cannot genuinely trust her anymore. She gets easily upset and annoyed when I bring up the past, which I rarely ever do. I'm also 99% sure she has lied about not having an adult time before me, and I'm the one with whom she did it for the first time. In a few months, she will be going to Europe for her masters, which I am excited for, but I have PTSD from the lie. She will be gone for 2 months, and I'm worried she will do something behind my back. I'm just not sure what to do anymore. What would you guys do? Am I overreacting? Yes, you are. Such a butthole. Oh my god. If I would be that girl, I would run and never look back. She already explained herself and there is nothing she can do about it anymore. So if you're not ready to go past this, break up. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can also watch that awesome video or this awesome playlist. See you next time!